Grinning shadows. I never used to be afraid of clowns. In fact, I used to find them quite amusing. But that was before the incident, the night that turned my perception of clowns into something dark and unsettling. My name is Alex, and I can't look at a clown the same way again. It was a warm summer evening when a traveling circus came to town. The colorful tents went up, and a sense of excitement buzzed through the air. Friends and families gathered, eager to escape the mundane for a few hours of wonder and amusement. I was there with my younger sister, Lily. She had always been fascinated by the circus, and I couldn't resist her enthusiasm. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the circus came alive with lights and laughter. The main event was about to start, and the crowd's anticipation was palpable. The spotlight flickered to life, illuminating the center ring. And that's when I saw him, the clown. He emerged from the shadows, his face painted in exaggerated colors, a grotesque smile plastered across his features. Lily clapped her hands in delight, but something about the clown made my stomach churn. As the clown performed, I couldn't shake the feeling that his eyes were fixed on me, his grin widening with every glance. His movements were exaggerated, his gestures almost hypnotic, drawing the audience into his act. But beneath the colorful exterior, there was something unnerving about him, something that sent shivers down my spine. The performance came to an end, and the crowd erupted in applause. But as the clown retreated into the shadows, I couldn't shake the feeling that he had left something behind, something that lingered in the air like a malevolent presence. That night, as I lay in bed, I couldn't escape the memory of the clown's haunting grin. I told myself it was just my imagination, that the circus had simply sparked my unease. But every time I closed my eyes, all I could see was that painted smile, etched into my mind. Days passed, and I tried to push the memory aside, focusing on work and daily routines. But then, reports started trickling in, strange sightings of clowns around town, lurking in the shadows and watching from a distance. At first, I dismissed them as hoaxes or pranks, but the unease began to gnaw at me once again. One evening, as I was walking Lily home from school, she pointed towards an alleyway. "Look, Alex, a clown!" she exclaimed, her excitement palpable. I followed her gaze, my heart sinking as I saw the clown from the circus standing there, his grin somehow even more unsettling in the dim light. I grabbed Lily's hand and quickened our pace, the feeling of being watched intensifying with every step. I glanced over my shoulder, my pulse quickening as I saw the clown following us, his eyes fixed on Lily with a hunger that sent chills down my spine. I picked up Lily and broke into a run, my heart pounding in my chest. The sound of footsteps echoed behind us, and I dared a glance back. The clown was gaining on us. Panic surged through me as I turned a corner, desperately searching for an escape. We reached our apartment building, and I fumbled for my keys, my hands trembling. I rushed inside, slamming the door shut behind us. My breath came in ragged gasps as I tried to process what had just happened. Lily was crying, her innocence shattered by the encounter. That night, as I lay awake in bed, the image of the clown haunted my thoughts. I couldn't ignore the feeling that he had been following us, that his intentions were far from innocent. The reports of clown sightings around town now felt like a sinister reality I couldn't escape. The following days were a blur of paranoia and anxiety. Every shadow seemed to conceal the grinning face of the clown, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched, hunted even. The circus had brought something dark to our town, something that thrived on fear and uncertainty. One evening, as I was leaving work, I spotted the clown again, standing on a street corner, his eyes locked onto mine. I felt a surge of anger and desperation, a need to confront this sinister presence that had invaded our lives. "Who are you?" I shouted, my voice laced with a mixture of fear and anger. The clown's grin widened, his painted lips parting to reveal rows of sharp teeth. He didn't respond, but his intention was clear. He was playing a game that I was now a part of. I stormed towards him, my fists clenched at my sides. But as I reached the spot where he had been standing, he was gone, vanished into thin air, as if he had never been there at all. My heart raced, my mind struggling to process the inexplicable. That night, I sat by Lily's bedside, watching over her as she slept. The clown's presence had infiltrated every corner of our lives, and I couldn't bear the thought of letting it take her away from me. I had to protect her, to confront this terror head-on. Days turned into weeks, and the sightings of the clown became less frequent. It was as if he had retreated, biding his time, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The feeling of being watched never truly left me, a constant reminder that the clown's grinning shadow still loomed over us. I had become a different person, haunted by a fear that had consumed me. But I refused to let that fear control me. I had to find a way to confront the clown, to rid our lives of this nightmarish presence once and for all.
Don't forget to subscribe and turn on post notifications.
Title: The Twisted Carnival. The carnival had arrived in town, bringing with it an air of excitement and nostalgia. The colorful tents and the aroma of cotton candy and popcorn filled the air, promising a night of joy and wonder. Little did I know that the evening's festivities would take a dark turn, plunging me into a nightmare I could never have imagined. I am Mark, an ordinary guy who decided to visit the carnival that had captured the town's attention. My girlfriend Emma and I strolled hand in hand, the bright lights and cheerful music creating a sense of anticipation. We were determined to enjoy the evening, to relive the magic of our childhood. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the carnival grounds, I noticed something unusual. Among the cheerful clowns and entertainers, there were a few figures that seemed out of place. Clowns with an eerie demeanor, their grins unnervingly wide. I nudged Emma, pointing out the unsettling clowns, but she brushed it off, attributing it to the carnival's theme.
"They're just trying to be spooky for Halloween,"
she said, laughing it off. But I couldn't shake the feeling that there was something more to it. We continued exploring the carnival, trying to immerse ourselves in the festivities. However, every now and then I caught glimpses of those odd clowns, their gazes locked onto us, as if they were watching our every move. It was as if they had singled us out from the crowd. As the night wore on, we decided to try our luck at the haunted house attraction. It was a maze of dark corridors and jump scares, designed to give thrill seekers a good fright. We held hands tightly, laughing nervously as we ventured deeper into the darkness. But as we turned a corner, we were met with a sight that froze us in our tracks. A group of those eerie clowns standing in a circle, their eyes fixed on us. Their grins had taken on a menacing quality, sending a wave of dread through me. I could feel Emma trembling beside me. "Come join us," one of the clowns said, its voice dripping with a sinister charm. Emma and I exchanged uneasy glances, unsure of how to react. It felt like a trap, a dangerous invitation into the heart of whatever twisted game they were playing. "Let's get out of here," I whispered urgently to Emma, but as we turned to leave, we found ourselves surrounded. The clowns closed in, their presence suffocating, and I realized we were in real danger. Panic gripped me as I searched for an escape route, but there was no way out. The clowns began to laugh, their laughter echoing through the dimly lit corridors. It was a chilling sound, devoid of joy, as if they were feeding off our fear. Emma clung to me, her nails digging into my arm, her eyes wide with terror. The leader of the clowns stepped forward, its grin widening impossibly further. "Welcome to our carnival, where the fun never ends," it said, its voice dripping with a malevolent charm. My heart raced, and I knew we were trapped in a nightmare, a twisted game orchestrated by these sadistic clowns. Before I could react, the clowns lunged at us, their movements unnatural and menacing. We fought to escape, but they were too strong, too relentless. The laughter grew louder, drowning out our cries for help, as they dragged us deeper into the heart of the haunted house. We were separated, and I could hear Emma's screams echoing through the corridors. Desperation took hold of me as I struggled to break free, but it was no use. The clowns were everywhere, their grins haunting my every thought. Hours, or maybe it was only minutes, passed in a nightmarish blur. I was exhausted, beaten down by the relentless torment of the clowns. And then, just as suddenly as it had all begun, it ended. The clowns vanished, leaving me alone in the darkness, gasping for breath. I stumbled through the corridors searching for any sign of Emma, but she was nowhere to be found. The haunted house had become a maze of confusion, a nightmare that seemed to have no end. I couldn't even find my way back to the carnival grounds. As I finally emerged from the darkness, the carnival had transformed. The lights were dimmed, the laughter had faded, and an unsettling silence settled over the once vibrant place. There were no traces of the clowns, no signs of the terror that had unfolded. Emma was gone, and I was left with the horrifying realization that I might never see her again. The carnival had taken her, consumed her in its twisted game. I had survived, but at what cost? I wandered through the deserted carnival, a shell of my former self. The memories of that night haunted me, the laughter of the clowns forever etched into my mind. It was a night I would never forget, a night that had torn my world apart, leaving me with nothing but the lingering fear of the twisted carnival and the unknown fate of the one I loved.
Click the subscribe button and bell icon for more nightmare-inducing stories.